boxes, one on the left and one on the right. One is about additional financial information and one is untaxed. The one on the left, these are things that help you in the formula. So if you have these things, they come off the formula and help you in the long run. The first, Hope and Lifetime Learning tax credits. These are tax credits that you get if you're paying for a student, you're paying for their tuition to go to school. Probably if you just have students still in high school now, you wouldn't have a tax credit, but next year you very well might qualify for a tax credit based on your income and if you had to pay some of the costs of higher education. So you want to pay attention to that because if you take that tax credit, you can subtract it right off. If anybody in the family is paying child support, you can list that, and this would be the annual amount for 2009. Taxable earnings from work study. I talked about work study earlier. It is a job, just like if you were working at the local Subway. You get a W-2 at the college or university. But the money that you earn from work study, you get to report here. And they subtract it off your income as if you never even had that income. So that's a really great bonus that they don't expect students to save any of their money from work or parents if they're doing work study. Grant and scholarship aid reported to the IRS. This is a good one because a lot of people don't ever realize they have to report grant and scholarship aid to the IRS. If you have a superstar student that gets grant and scholarship aid in excess of tuition, books, fees, and supplies, like maybe they get a scholarship for room and board, that technically is taxable and you are supposed to be filing a tax return on that money. If you file a tax return on that money, then you can list it right here and it comes right off. If a student has, or a parent has combat pay or special combat pay or any cooperative education program earnings, those can also be listed. So those are the good things that help you and help in the formula. On the right, these are the other things that you're required to tell Congress if you have them. And this first one is really a missed question on the FAFSA a lot. It's payments to tax-deferred pensions and savings plans. And what that is, because that's confusing for a lot of people just the way it's worded, is that's if you as a parent decide to take part of your salary and put it in a retirement account. Maybe a 401k or a 403b account. Like for me, for instance, at my school, if I put in 2.5% of my salary, my employer matches 2.5. Well, that 2.5 that I earned is actual earnings from work, but I didn't have to pay taxes on it. I can find that on my W-2 in box 12. And you want to get your W-2 out there and make sure that you don't miss that one because it'll be in box 12. And once you go on the web, they'll give you a little more guidance with the specific numbers, but I just wanted to touch that because that one really gets missed a lot. Child support received. If anybody in the family is receiving child support, you would put the amount received for 2009. Maybe you took an IRA deduction, or you had a payment to a self-employed plan. Maybe you have tax-exempt interest income. That's usually line 8B on the tax return. If you had an IRA distribution or a pension, maybe that's your salary. You live off a pension or an IRA. Usually part of that is taxable and part of that sometimes is untaxable. If you have any part of that that's not taxable, you have to report that. If you're a member of the military or clergy, you have to report any housing allowance or food allowance. If you're a veteran, maybe you're getting some sort of non-education monthly benefit, you have to report that. Or maybe you're getting workers' comp or disability along those lines. All of those things have to be listed on the FAFSA form. Those are the things that they really ask. Now, I love this little section here at the bottom. Go back for me, Leah. That's okay. See this little purple box that says your parents may be asked to provide more information about their assets. Your parents may need to report the net worth of their business and farm. And that's really all they give you on assets and business and farm. So now, we're going to talk about questions not on the worksheet. Assets. Parents may have to report asset information, and I've kind of gone over some of the questions that would require you not to, but most of you will probably have to list asset information on the FAFSA.